The source for some of this information comes from Joe Viles, a former British Petroleum employee. Joe Viles was assassinated on July 17, 2005, by biological weapon. His assassination mirrors the assassinations of both Shaman Skolnick and Christopher Story. This video is a re-release of a video created on the 21st of February 2010. This video has additional information for the benefit of the viewer, in order to progress with further research of the Luciferian great work and the conspiracy behind it. Jerusalem. Trip Holy. Did you fall for the Middle Eastern long war, 12th Crusade, being all about stealing and controlling Middle Eastern oil? If so, this is exactly what the commander of the Equestrian Order of the Holy Sepulchre of Jerusalem, 1 Farnese, Carlos of Spain, wishes you to believe. The unholy Roman Empire. Grand Master Cardinal Follet. The era of the two superior generals Adolfo Nicholas and Peter Hans Kelvenbach. Grand Master Bruno Platter. Grand Master Matthew Festing. Grand Master Vittorio Emmanuel IV. Grand Master Don Carlos the Infante of Spain. Grand Master Prince Carlo. The papal nobility, and it's the company of Jesus. Alessandro Cardinal. Farnese. High Seas, Horus, and Seb. The Pallavicini family. Abbess General Tech La Famiglietti. The Union for the Mediterranean. Knight of Malta, George Herbert Walker Bush, or is it Nazi? Sure. Sepulchre and Knight of Malta, Cardinal Edward Egan. Sepulchre and Knight of Malta, King 1, Farnese, Carlos of Spain. The Knights of Malta. Peter Van's Kurvenbach is the power of Tripoli in the Middle East with King Juan Farnese Carlos. Do you remember when you were only paying $1.61 a gallon at the pump? Now you are paying $2.80 a gallon at the pump, and it's only going to get worse. Any attack on Iran could increase oil prices between $250 to $600 a barrel. Right now in 2010, a barrel costs $80. Back in 1999, the cost was only $17 to $20 a barrel. A barrel of Juan Carlos's heroin is worth $20 to $80 million. Do you think the crusade is still all about oil? The Knights of Malta needed to start raising the price from $20 per barrel to current prices and beyond. How could this rise needed come about? Chaos. In order to achieve the goals of global governance and the agenda of oil prices, the intelligence network subordinate to the Knights of Malta and its superior, the Sepulchre, create staged false flag chaos events. One such event occurred on September 11, 2001. This was most likely a meta-bridge operation. This was ready for the Afghanistan war, for Juan Carlos's global heroin trade. The Taliban had destroyed 90% of the poppy crops as economic warfare on the Roman powers over the Unocal oil pipeline disagreements. Who did Juan Carlos and the Holy Sepulchre quickly put in Afghanistan as their puppet president? Why, it was Christian in action, Hamid Karzai, a real terrorist from Unocal. For the glory of Rome. The next region to be occupied was Iraq, and this was to be demonized from January the 29th, 2002, along with Iran by British intelligence as Hill and Knowlton Propaganda Front. Exactly the same as just prior to Operation Desert Storm in 1990. Hill and Knowlton were behind the fraudulent dossier known as Yellow Cake. This originated from the Republic of Niger, a location of Hill and Knowlton. This was handed to the Roman Sismi. Where did Knight of Malta, Tony Blair, show up after his arrest in the United States in February 2010? Why, it was oil and mineral-rich Nigeria, which borders the Republic of Niger and is a haven for false flag manipulation events. It was now time to demonize Iraq using disinformation about non-existent weapons of mass destruction. Even a failed attempt to plant weapons of mass destruction into Iraq occurred by the American-Turkish Council. Right now the Christians in Action terrorist, drug dealer and organized crime lord, Richard Armitage sits in the seat of chairman of this intelligence front. Exactly the same game is happening right now against the next target, which is Iran. One man who knew the truth was about to speak out. This was the highly respected biological warfare and weapons inspector in Iraq, known as Dr. David Kelly. On July 17, 2003, Dr. David Kelly was assassinated under the orders of the Joint Intelligence Committee. The Joint Intelligence Committee at the time was controlled by John Scarlett. He's overseen by Grandmaster Edward Patrick Paul. It's the Joint Intelligence Committee behind Hill and Knowlton. The Joint Intelligence Committee is currently overseen by the Intelligence and Security Committee. Edward Patrick Paul is also a Royal Knight of the powerful Order of the Garter. Does that order remind you of somebody, I wonder? King Juan Carlos. The leader of the Joint Intelligence Committee in 1979 to 1982 was Anthony Ecklund. Look what order he's within. Are you seeing a connection? Reminds us of this Order of St. Michael and St. George, which all British intelligence are tied up with. The Order of the Garter are controlled by the Company of Jesus, located at 114 Mount Street in Rome and Westminster. The treasonous Queen is a loyal crusader for the Pope via the Alliance of the Orders of St. John and Jerusalem. If this Pope is Christ on earth, then why does he need bulletproof glass to go outside? Did Saddam Hussein need bulletproof glass around all those people firing AK-47s in his honor? All after he got rid of the beast from Iraqi oil fields? Oil revenue now help pay for greater education amongst the Iraqi people. Iraqi health care destroyed the death care within the Western world. Israel's plan for oil to flow from Kirkuk in Iraq to Haifa in Israel is known as Operation Checkmate. Does this remind you of their terminology of shock and horror? Oil must be in good supply to Israel in order for the future revived Latin kingdom to rule all nations as Babylon. Jerusalem as the spiritual capital, whilst Dubai is the financial capital and Iraq is the political capital of the world. Saddam could never be allowed to rebuild his version of Babylon. This right belongs to the temporal power only. Wassim al-Shahristani, the Iraqi Minister of Oil, is a popish traitor to his Arab peoples. So why has the oil gone up so much? And why is the oil in the Middle East being attacked and controlled? The Roman Empire was the metal of iron for strength. Popish versicles Margaret Thatcher was known as the Iron Lady. She too committed treason like the false Queen on England, signing treaties throwing the country into the Roman Euro state. In 1981, it was allowed to be known amongst the certain few that the Falkland Islands had a proven 10 times the amount of oil of that of Saudi Arabia. In 1979, oil prices were only $15 a barrel. Retrieving oil from the Falklands needs very expensive equipment due to the strength of the ground. This is one of the reasons for large oil price increases now and to come.